Sometimes to get out of your head, you need to get out of town. If you feel like your life is in between chapters, here's how a personal retreat helped me find clarity. I gave myself a few days in some place away from home to rethink my future, plan my goals for 2026, and strategize my next move. I flew to London and checked into a quiet little hotel, a place I felt I'd be mentally stimulated and the creative juices would flow. No strict itinerary, no pressure, just space to think, feel, and ask the brutally honest questions about what it will take to make my dreams a reality. I wasn't fixated on any particular outcome for this retreat, but I did set a few objectives to keep me focused. First and foremost was thinking deeply about what matters to me in life on a broad scale. Next was goal setting for 2026. I want to be sure that my life priorities align with the person I am, and better yet, the person I'm trying to become. And last, I just wanted to have some fun. I heard London's nice around the holidays. During this retreat, mornings were for thinking, afternoons for exploring, and evenings for reflection. Just enough structure to keep me grounded, but loose enough to leave room for life surprises. And in the peace and calmness of this time in solitude, I finally started to hear myself again. Hey YouTube, did you miss me? Because I missed you. Also, did you like that little intro? In 2026, I want to experiment with more cinematic storytelling style content. I don't think I'm that good at it yet, but practice makes perfect. Like that trip to London was supposed to be a full cinematic vlog. It just didn't quite pan out the way that I had planned. So we made do with what we could. The retreat, on the other hand, was a success. And so I would like to get into more on how I structured that and what my key takeaways were. And then we've got some other things to discuss because it's been a long time since I gave a life update over here. And last I told y'all, I got laid off from the job that I was planning to quit and decided to travel the world instead of looking for a new one. That is still true. Right now, I'm reporting live from my Airbnb in Vietnam. I am at the start of a 3-month trip through Southeast Asia, but we're gonna get into more about how we got there in a second. First, let's talk about the retreat. It really wasn't a super complicated process. I already have my preferred methods of goal setting and auditing my life when needed. And so I like to bucket life into 8 different categories: physical health, mental health, career, finances, community, spirituality, creativity, and recreation. You've probably seen like this 8 pillars of life concept before, and it doesn't always have the same buckets, but those are the ones that I like to use. And so basically what I did is I wrote down those 8 buckets, and typically I would already have goals in those areas, but we kind of were off track in 2025 because my dad died at the end of 2024. And so I didn't really do the New Year's resolution thing this past year, which I do realize is a crazy thing to just brush past, but like we're not gonna talk about the grief in this video because I also did just come up on a year anniversary of his passing and like lots of feels, but we move. And so yeah, we've got our 8 pillars of life. And so I wrote those down on a piece of paper. And then I also just started brain dumping like all of the questions that I could think of that I would like to dig into further in each of those areas. So I took that list, put it in ChatGPT to clean it up and give me a few more recommendations for questions to help me dig a little deeper. And then I took that very lengthy list of questions across the 8 pillars of life, and I sat down for like 3-4 hours and just answered every single question in as much excruciating detail as I could muster. And from there, I went through and highlighted the recurring themes in areas that seemed like they should have more attention. And I used that to help craft my 2026 goals. And I'm not going to go through like all of my goals for the year because that would take too long and I don't think you care. But the gist of it is the same thing that I've been talking about, which is that I need to figure out what I'm doing with my life. I don't want to go back to a corporate job, but I do need to find a way to make some living and have some sort of sustainable path. And in 2026, we are hopefully going to figure out what that is. 2 things I would like to call out from all of that self-reflection though are, 1, I got the confirmation that I needed to take this trip that I'm on right now. Like I've always wanted to do a longer term stint of traveling. I just obviously never had the time because I had a job. And so now that I've got the time, we're taking advantage of it. And I will be vlogging this entire travel. I'm actually already in the midst of vlogging it right now. So the next video after this video will be a vlog from my time in Hanoi, Vietnam, which is is my first stop on the trip. And I'm really excited. Like, I want to be one of those people that took 3 months, 6 months, a year and just traveled the world and found themselves and figured out all of life's unanswered questions or something like that. I don't know. And number two takeaway from my retreat, and something that I do believe is going to help facilitate this process of answering all of these questions for me, is that I decided to start the Artist Way. If you are unfamiliar with what the Artist Way is, it's a 12-week creative recovery program for people who feel that they are stuck. And you don't have to be an artist in the traditional sense to get value from this, because I would not consider myself an artist, and I only am recently starting to even consider myself a creative. But this book is helping me to affirm the fact that, like, I am creative and everyone is creative. You just have to, tap into that side of yourself, because we all have an inner artist. I'm 3 weeks into my Artist Way journey and I am loving it so far. It's also gonna have to be a separate dedicated video to talk about my experience with this. I wanted to do weekly updates, but I make no promises on that happening. There will definitely be more follow-up on this one though, I promise. But if you are especially interested in hearing about my Artist Way journey, you should definitely follow me on TikTok, because I have been giving a lot more frequent updates about this over there. Also, I just post a lot more frequently on TikTok in general. So if you like me and want to see more of my face and hear more about my journey of self-exploration and all of my travel adventures, follow me on TikTok. Also, subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I am going to be more consistent in 2026 than I was in 2025. I swear! And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this very chaotic and unorganized life update, because I've lost my train of thought, and I do think that I already hit the key points that I wanted to hit in this video. Moral of the story, I've been moving and grooving. We've got a lot going on and a lot more exciting stuff coming in 2026. So like the video if you like the video, comment and let me know what you'd like to hear more about, and hit that subscribe button, because it's gonna be a good year and you don't wanna miss out. Bye.